Now open up GitHub again, and as you can see, the page that it redirected you to right after you made your public repository is pretty much the page that gives you instructions on how to connect your Git Bash with your public project. So the first thing we're going to do is check this out. This line of code right here is the address of your public repository. Now every time we wanted to, make some changes to our project, typing this long thing, this long URL, would be kind of a pain in the butt. So let's go ahead and set up a remote first. Now a remote is pretty much just setting up your connection between your local computer and this public online project, this public server. So git remote, and after this type add. Now there are two pieces of information you need to follow with this command. The first thing is pretty much what nickname do you want to give this URL. So I'm just going to name it GitHub repo. You can name it like public repo or anything you want really. By default, well, don't even worry about the default, but give it a nickname so you don't have to type that URL. And then after this, you say what URL does this nickname reference. Well, for some reason, this doesn't just let me copy and paste. Whenever I try to paste something in Bash, it doesn't let you. So you actually need to type that out. I actually think it might be different for a Mac, but for this, github.com/BuckyRoberts/tutorials.git. So what we're saying, this is whenever we hit enter and type git remote, we can see our remotes, and this is pretty much saying that, okay, whenever we want to use this public URL, we're just going to type GitHub from now on because that's easier. So that's how you set up a nickname for your GitHub project. Simple enough. So now we have a connection for our Git Bash to our public project. So the first thing we want to do is obviously take all of these files and push them online so everyone can see. So how do we do that? Well, if you type git push, and by the way, I should probably mention this, whenever you're adding files to your public repository or making any changes, it's called pushing it. You're pushing it to the online server. Whenever you are just browsing through GitHub and you find a cool project and you want to download them or get the files, it's called fetching. So pushing is giving them to the server or adding them or making changes. Fetching is getting them from the server. Push, fetch. So push means add files. So what do we want to push? And I'll talk to you guys about this -u, exactly what it means later on. But this is pretty much saying take all of the files in BRM, which is all this crap right here, and push it to GitHub repo, which is pretty much our main public online repository. Master, and what this does is whenever you hit enter, it says okay. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to take all of these files right here and pretty much put them online for everyone to see. But how do we know that this is actually your account right here? How do we know that you're just not like adding files to some random dude's account? Well, it asks for your username, which is Bucky. Well, yours isn't Bucky Roberts, but mine is, and the password. And check it out. After you enter your credentials, what it does is it pretty much takes all of those files and starts uploading them onto the public online website. So it's going to take a little while. I wish I had a story to tell you. I'll tell you about the fat kid who, this morning I was like making bacon and eggs, and these kids are making bike jumps. And this is done, but I gotta finish this story now. These kids were making bike jumps because they like had cinder blocks and they put a piece of wood over it, and they're like jumping each other's bikes and stuff. And then this fat kid, like the fattest kid who lives on my street, he rolled up, and I go, wow, this is gonna be a disaster. So he tries to do it. He just automatically, as soon as he goes off, no error whatsoever, he just eats it. And I'm just, I don't know, kind of just laughing at him because it was bound to happen. So anyways, back to this little tutorial. What it said is pretty much, alright, I took all those files and I published them online. But do we really believe it? I don't know. Let's go ahead and look at my account, and we know that this is the repository, and check it out. If you go to the repository URL, you can see that all of those files were now published for the world to see. So now everyone can see the greatest website ever, look at the source code, and download it so they have their own version of the project right here. Now, of course, the beauty of GitHub is that everyone from around the world can help work on your project. So in the upcoming tutorials, what I'm going to show you guys how to do is actually download these public projects, make some changes, and submit them so they can either, I don't know, be incorporated into the main one, collaborate, work together. It's going to be awesome. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will smell you guys later.